Ever find yourself in a Home Depot aisle, planning a big project, when you wonder, is my credit score good enough for their credit card? You're not the only one. That bright orange card can look like the key to finishing a project, but applying for any new card can feel like a gamble. So today, we're cutting through the noise. We'll cover the credit score you'll likely need, from the minimum to what most approved applicants have. More importantly, we're going to break down the one major trap with this card that you need to avoid. By the end of this, you'll know exactly where you stand. All right, what's the magic number? For the Home Depot Consumer Credit Card, you'll generally need a credit score of at least 640 to be considered. That puts you in the fair credit range. Some people report getting approved with scores in that ballpark, but just hitting the minimum is no guarantee. The fact is, the average score for someone who gets approved is much higher, around 722. That tells you that while a fair score might get you in the door, having a good score, 700 or more, massively improves your odds and likely gets you a better credit limit. But your score isn't the whole story. The issuer, Citibank, looks at your bigger financial picture. They'll look at your total annual income versus your monthly housing payments, how much of your available credit you're already using, and if you've applied for a lot of cards recently. Someone with a 690 score but a high income and low debt could easily look like a safer bet than someone with a 710 score who is already juggling a lot of other payments. So, what are the pros and cons? The number one reason people get this card is the special financing, 0% interest for 6 months on purchases of $290 or more. But this leads directly to the card's single biggest trap, deferred interest. If you don't pay off the entire balance before that promotional period ends, they will charge you all the interest from the original date of purchase. And with an APR that can be as high as 29.99%, that can become a financial nightmare. On the plus side, you do get a full year for returns, which is much better than the standard 90 days. The main drawbacks? It's a store-only card, and it offers no ongoing rewards like points or cash back. By the way, if you want to know your score right now, I've put a link to a trusted credit monitoring service in the description. You can get your full credit report and 𝐔𝐒𝐄 score, and it's an easy way to see exactly where you stand. Go check it out. So how can you apply without the anxiety? My number one tip is to always use the pre-qualification tool on Home Depot's website first. It checks your odds of approval without a hard pull on your credit report, so it won't hurt your score. There's no reason to risk a hard inquiry if you don't have to. Also, be prepared for the initial credit limit. Even though the average limit is over $9,000, many people start with a much lower limit, like between $500 and $2,000. So what's the bottom line? The Home Depot card can be a great tool, but only in a very specific situation. If you have a big project and you know for a fact you can pay it off in full within the 6-month promotional window, the 0% financing is a huge benefit. But if there's any chance you'll carry that balance longer, or if you want a card that gives you long-term value through rewards, you are much better off with a standard cashback card. The risk of that high deferred interest just isn't worth it for most people.